Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in this video, we are going to be learning a bit more about Next.js 14 and using the app router to build a social media application. And in the last video, we built the authentication for this system. So basically now we can connect each user to a feed post. We didn't form the relation yet, but we have it ready here in the database. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So basically we'll be adding this relation between a user and a feed post. And in addition to that, we will also be making a functionality for users to like each of these feed posts here. And on top of that, we will be displaying the likes, we'll be adding a like button, and we'll also be displaying that who has published each of these feed posts. And yeah, that's basically the agenda for this video, and let's jump straight into it. So first thing we can do is that we can create a count of likes and then also a list of users that has liked each of these feed posts here in the database schema. And on top of that, we'll be also storing here in the user schema every liked feed post. So that's basically it. Now we can just hit save on that, and then we can just restart our application and run npx prisma generate. Remember that every time you change anything here on the database schema, you have to run npx prisma generate. Now that's done, we can just restart our application by running npm run dev. And now our first task is to connect the user to this feed post. And to do that, we have to modify the action right here in our lib and actions. So every time here we create, we of course add the description, but then we also get the user, and that has to be done by connecting with a user email. So what we can do right here is that we can just here get the session using the auth options. And now here we can just check that if the session exists, and if the session exists, we can just continue on, and then we can connect email session dot user dot email. And then we can also add here that if there is no session.user.email, there we go. Now we don't have any errors. And it will probably be wise to make a separate function for all this. So basically getting the user from the database with the session ID. But for now, we'll just go with this. And yeah, that's basically it. Now the user will be connected to each of these feed posts when we create one right here. And to display actually that who has made the feed post. And now that this is connected, we can go here into our feed post list and put a field to show the user ID also inside the feed post card. And we can try this. You guys can log in, and then we can just put here that like new feed post here like that. And then we can just hit publish. And as you guys can see, that the user ID will be displayed here on every single card if it exists. And of course, we don't want to use the user ID here. In our case, we want the user email. Now, if the user has a name, that's probably the one you want to go with, but we have this email right here, and let's use that right there. So the first thing we need is that we need to go here into our data file and modify this function to include the user in the feed post schema. And when we do that, we can just go back here and put the feed post.user.email field right here, save this file, and as you guys can see, we get the email right there. And now when that's done, we have to make the functionality for users to like each of these feed posts. And to do that, we of course need to make a button. So let's just go here into our UI folder, create a like feed post button .tsx. We'll just make it a default function like feed post button, and this is actually going to be a client side component. And this button will take some parameters. We'll get that to in just a little bit, but it will basically return a button that has the text like, and it also has a onClick function. We'll just call it nothing yet, but we'll actually make that function right now. And to make that function, we can go here into our actions file, and we can just make a new function called like feed post. And inside this like feed post, we can just go into our try catch method, and if there is an error, we can just console log it for now. And then here in our try method, first we can just try to find the post if it exists. So basically, you can just say that the post is going to be equal to await Prisma dot feed post dot find unique right there, where the ID is going to be post ID. And after this, we also need to check that if there is a user logged in, so we can just copy and paste this one. So if there is no session, we can just throw an error. And of course, if there is no post, we of course want to throw a new error, which is that no post. Yeah, there we go. And now when those are done, we can basically, so if there are no errors, we can basically update await prisma dot feed post dot update, where the ID is again post ID, like that. And then we need to provide the data for it. So data, and then we of course want to, and as you guys remember, we added these 3 fields into our database schema, so we have to update these. So basically, update the likes count by 1, update the users that have liked the feed posts with the user ID, and here in the user schema, we need to add the feed post ID. So we can go back here into our actions, and we actually need to also get the user. So const user is going to be await prisma dot user dot find unique. Now we need to find the user, where we actually are going to use the email to find the user, and this is going to be session dot user dot email. And now we can also check that if there is no user, we need to throw an error. Throw new error. No user found. And if these are fine, then we can continue on. And here in the data, we need to update the likes count. So basically, the likes count is going to be post.likes count plus 1. And as this is a optional field, we actually need to get the current likes. So we'll just make a current, let's make it a variable. Current likes is going to be post.likes count or 0. And this is going to be a number. And then we can just put here current likes plus. And now it adds 1 to it. And now we of course need to update the users that had liked the field as well. So we'll just make this also a variable, which is going to be a new users that liked. And it is going to be the post dot users that liked dot concat with the user.id. There we go. And then we can just add it here. Like that. And now, as you guys can see, that we have no validation here. So basically, a same user can like the feed post many times. If you don't want that to happen, you guys can just add some error handling here. But for now, we'll go with this. I might fix this later as well. But yeah. And after we have updated our feed post field, we of course need to update our user field as well. So we'll just go await prisma.user dot update, and this is going to be as well that where ID is user dot ID, and then the data we need to provide. This is going to be also a variable. We can just put here that the user liked feed posts, and this is going to be the user dot liked feed posts dot concat with the post ID. Post.id. There we go. And now we can just replace the like feed posts with the user like feed posts. There we go. So now this is basically done, this action. We update the user field here, and of course we update also the feed post field. Let's hit save on that, and then we can just go back here into our like button, and we actually need to provide here a few parameters. The first one will be the post ID. And the second one will be the actual function, which is going to be the like feed post function. And because we're using TypeScript, we need to make a type. Let's just put like export type like feed post props. There we go. And then we'll just need to provide the post ID, and that is going to be a string. And after that, we of course need the like feed post. And this is actually going to be post ID, which is going to be string. It's going to be a function that returns a void. There we go. And these are going to be the like feed post props. And then within this props, we'll just call the function like feed post with the post ID. There we go. And now the button is done. And now for the button, we just have to get the like feed post button, and we have to provide it with the necessary stuff, which is the post ID and the like feed post function. So the post ID will be called the feed post.id, and the like feed post function is going to be the like feed post function that we just implemented. There we go. Now we have the like button right here. We could add some styling right there, but yeah. And now we can also show the, let's just put under here the feed post dot likes count or 0, basically like that. So now we have 0 likes, but if we press this like, actually we need to do one more thing here in our actions. And of course, after all this, we need to revalidate the path. And this path is, of course, going to be the root folder right there. So like that. And now we can just go back here. And now if we try liking this post, and as we saw, the like did not work. And the problem was that I had this plus plus right here. So make sure you guys correct this to be +1. I guess the plus plus is not working in JavaScript, but here we can just like it again, and we can see that it raises right there. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. So in this video, you guys learned how to add relations between feed posts and users, and you guys also learned how to create likes for these posts. So basically, it's a relation between the user, the post, and those likes. And if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you want to see next. And stay tuned for the next video. Peace!